What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Tiny Tim. I'm back. Hey, listen, I'm in the mobile studio yet again. I haven't resolved the issue, but I will, and I will be back in the main lab sooner than later. But today, we want to go ahead and talk about She-Hulk Episode 2. Episode 2 is what we're talking about. Yes, I'm a little bit late. I get it, but so what? Here's what I got to say about Episode 2. But wait a minute, before I start talking about Episode 2, make sure you're smashing the like and the comment and subscribe and turning the bell for notifications to make sure you're all caught up to date on everything She-Hulk, Walking Dead coming soon, and Game of Thrones. I'm really going to try to amp up my episode droppage for my reactions and tiny reactions. But again, today we're talking about She-Hulk. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like, comment, subscribe, and turn on all bells for notifications to let you know when I go live and I'm talking about She-Hulk. But like I said, we're talking about Episode 2. Let's get started. All right, first note I wanted to address was the fact of the whole She-Hulk name being... It's a cheesy way they did it with the news coverage and the guy at the steps of the courthouse or whatever it was. And okay, that's cheesy, but I get it. It's cool, but MCU names have been done worse. I'll say that. I think things have been done a lot worse, or maybe I'm thinking of something not MCU related. But either way, supervillain and superhero names have been done a lot worse. So I'm okay with it, but it was a little cheesy, it was a little campy, but I liked it. But like I said in episode 1, the bubbliness of this character makes it work to the point where she's going to be anti that name, I think, for a while, but everybody else is going to be calling her that. She's the She-Hulk. She's Woman Hulk. She's it. That's the one that works. So I'm okay with it, I guess. You know, and in the aftermath of everything going on in that first case where she had to beat up the chick who interrupted her closing arguments, she loses her job. Okay, that's kind of fucked up, but the whole time, he had a point. He had a point that, yes, you won the case technically, but you the She-Hulk. I feel like now, anything you say with us is going to be like, oh man, if I say the wrong thing, it's going to be like an intimidation thing. I get it. So, I mean, okay, it's fair. To a point, it's fair. But it's like, damn, she get fired while she falling off the stool drunk. That's fucked up. But the aftermath of her getting fired with the family support at family dinner, they wasn't supposed to be talking about it, but it seemed like the high brother or cousin, whoever he is, he's boom, I gotta address the elephant in the room. You know, it's all good and well, but I love the family support and the fact that they referenced, hey, we've had a Hulk in the family before you, so it's all good. And like I said, I'm cool with that. It's all good to me. It's all good for me, like the family aspect of it all, because the Banner family, we haven't seen too much of them other than Bruce and now her. So to see them sitting on the extended side of the family and still address having a Hulk in the family, I thought that was pretty dope. That was pretty cool for me. That was pretty cool. She was sitting there at the bar, you know, she trying to stew about it all. You know, like, damn, I lost my job. I got to figure out who hiring. Look at these one ads. I'm going to go ahead and get it around on me, for me. And here come the competition. Competition who she just technically beat is now offering her a job. And the first thing I think is, what's the fucking catch? You know what I mean? Like, what's the catch? And sure enough, I wrote it in my notes. Is this going to be like a gimmick? Fast forward 5 minutes later, after a fourth wall break-ish, I think. And I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking gimmick. It's a gimmick. And I'm like, that's a little fucked up, but I mean, it's a job. She working. She got paid for the stuff that she got paid for. But it's still a little corny. It's a little cheesy the way they did that. She was having a drink. I don't know. Was it a drink to celebrate? Whatever it was, I noticed. I wrote it down in my notes, and I noticed they had a bottle of wine in her apartment with a little pitchfork on it. And I'm like, yo, is that like a little Easter egg? Like Daredevil's on his way? Or, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I don't know if anybody noticed that. I don't watch anybody else's reviews until I post mine. So I don't know if anybody else noticed that Easter egg. But in one of the scenes in episode 2, there's a bottle with a white label. And it looks like a dark red or a black pitchfork on the label. I don't really see the title or the brand. But it definitely is a pitchfork on a bottle, on a side table or end table or something. And I'm like, oh, Easter egg, Daredevil's on his way. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, at this point in the episode, I'm enjoying the episode, and then her first day on the job is pretty much not a job. First day is an interview, kind of like to say, do you want this job or nah? Like, this is part of the job. You're going to be defending none other than Abomination. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. It's 100% gold for me to bring in the same cat that played him in the movie. The same, they touched on a bunch of things as far as the relationship between the two, being Hulk and Abomination, the relationship between Hulk and She-Hulk, with her quote-unquote conflict of interest because that's his family, and they tore up half of Harlem when they was fighting each other in the first Hulk movie. I love it. The MCU is winning. The MCU don't miss. Speaking of not missing, and speaking of Abomination, we have to address what Banner addressed on that phone call. When he's talking to her, he says, I'm over that. That's in the past. I'm a totally different person, literally. And I thought that was the dopest thing for them to put in the show, because he is. Ed Norton was Hulk at this point in the show, in the movie, and when they fought, so it's like he don't even give a fuck about that. So that's cool. I like that. I like that they put that in there, and they made reference to the films in that way to keep the continuity strong. But her defending him, I just feel like he has a strong case against the government in the MCU. Even though I can clearly tell he's playing a game. He's playing her, but he has a point based on what he's saying. I was a highly decorated officer in the military. They pumped me full of super soldier serum, and I was just doing what my government told me to do, and I became the bad guy. Meanwhile, the Hulk over here is praised as a hero. That's a little fucked up, and when you look at it like that, yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point, but Abomination is Abomination. They tore up half of Harlem and really went at it in that film. So, choppers and everything, like, fucked a lot of shit up. So, he has a point, but still, he playing a game. And fast forward to him playing a game, he's playing her. She accepts the job, and then all of a sudden, she get a phone call like, "Yo, you sure? Like, you want to accept the job?" Is that a yes? Yes, I'll take the case. This motherfucker was caught in Shang-Chi in a fight club halfway across the world. How, Sway? Now they calling it a prison break, but the motherfucker been sitting over here. So how? So I hope they address that going forward. They need to address that Sicarian battleship that visited him, that put them in an accident in the first place, taking Hulk off planet. That motherfucker was out of our atmosphere. He was gone. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. This episode, so far, episode 2, really giving me chills. I really like it. I really enjoy it for what it is. It's a good show. The only thing I don't like about it, besides, like I said in episode 1, the CGI and the motion capture for She-Hulk herself, I don't like that the episodes are 30 minutes. The first episode was 38 minutes. This episode was 30 minutes, and they're only take away credits 27 minutes. And I'm like, total. And I'm like, you really are cramming a lot in the episode, and you're making me want to come back. But for everything leading up to this show, for that to be 45 minutes to an hour, or 6 episodes or more, 9 episodes, stuff like that, and it still be 45 minutes, 58 minutes. Now you're giving us show that's 30 minutes? Like, come on, you might as well give me a cartoon or a sitcom. Like, I don't know. It works for this show because they're putting a lot in, just a few nuggets here and there, here and there. And I think the purpose of this show and the shows going forward are to introduce certain elements, not necessarily certain characters. I think the Eternals and Ms. Marvel, that movie and then that show, was just to introduce certain aspects of the MCU going forward. In the Eternals, it was the Eternals themselves, and introduced Thanos' brother and incursions and things of that nature. And I think Ms. Marvel was just to introduce the powers and Ms. Marvel herself and the connection between Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel. This, I think, is an introduction to She-Hulk and what she can provide the MCU. And I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more short episodes and that are just action-packed, filled with content. So I think we should be looking forward to some good stuff coming out of the show. I'm excited about it. I'm going to keep watching it. I think I'm going to watch episode 3, get caught up on that, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that come next week. But until the next time, this is Tiny Tim out. I want to keep it short and sweet because the episodes are short and sweet. Keeping it short and sweet, this is Tiny Tim. Catch me on all socials at Tiny Tim Gaming 3, here on YouTube and on Facebook at Tiny Tim Gaming. Any questions, comments, or concerns, and you want to keep up with the conversation, go ahead and comment down below, or go ahead and email me at tinytimgaming3@gmail.com. So, until the next time, this is Tiny Tim, out.